target. Maximum firepower.
Brace for impact!
Okay, go ahead and do the intro. Hello?
What? What do you
Go
mean
ahead
me
and-
do the intro? You do the intro. You're the fucking host.
Wrong. You never been more wrong.
No. You always do the intro. Don't fucking back out on me now.
What is our first segment? It's Clone
Wars.
Okay.
Clone Wars retrospective, yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Brace for Impact podcast, sponsored by Atomic Mass Games. This deal is getting worse all the time. Oh my god. In this episode, we're going to analyze the performance of Clone Wars small ships, review some subscriber submitted lists, and review the Bad Batch show that just finished. So I'm going to scroll down here. So we're going to take a look at some Clone Wars small base ships first. Obviously right now, and for the foreseeable future, I guess, we have the Consular and the Hardcell. So the first one up here is the Consular class armed cruiser, which is the blue and black dice one for 37 points. I know you don't typically play Republic, but what are your thoughts on the armed cruiser?
I think this one is what the Raider wanted to be. It's fast as hell. It's got defensive retrofit. It's got ordnance. It gets in there, throws die. 2 blue die for anti-squadron is actually amazing.
That's true.
Just based on the range that you can, the range and the amount of squadrons that you can hit with it is fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, comparing it to what the Raider won, it's same hull, 1 command, 1 squad, 2 engineering on both.
Yeah.
They're both speed 4. They both have similar speed charts, actually. The Raider's a little bit more maneuverable at lower speed. And then the sides are the same in terms of shields and dice. The rear is the same. The Raider actually has 1 more shield on the rear. And the front, the Raider has 1 more black die.
Yep.
And then you come down to the upgrades, and Raider has the gunnery team slot and offensive retrofit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 7 more points. And the Consular class has a redirect.
Yeah, Raider doesn't. Well, it's got a redirect and a fucking contain.
And I feel like, in some ways, you're right that the Raider wishes that instead of double evade, it had a redirect. Or even yeah, exactly. Instead of double evade, the Raider wishes it had a redirect, right?
I mean, it wishes it was as cheap as the fucking Consular.
Yeah.
And the suite of upgrades the Consular gets, like fucking Clone Captain Zack, and you've got the Radiant 7 title that can just be kitted out to be a completely different ship.
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
Yeah. And Clone Captain Zack plus X-Rax makes this guy hit really hard. Now, Raider can get Ordnance Experts, which makes it more consistent, but these ships don't typically get off enough shots for that to be better than X-Rax.
Really matter, yeah.
Right? I think X-Rax is better bang for the buck on 4 health ships. Yeah. I actually, typically, if I'm running a Consular, it is the armed cruiser.
It's just so cheap, right? 37 points. Is the CR90 even that cheap? CR90A 44, CR90B 39.
It's cheaper than the B.
So it's cheaper than the Hammerhead Scout Corvette.
I think it's
1 more point more than the Torpedo Corvette.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
It's a cheap fucking small ship.
And compared to the Hammerhead Torpedo Corvette, it's
way better.
Way better. It's kind of right. The Hammerhead has option for Ordnance Experts and X-Rax on the same ship, right?
But
that's pretty good. Also, you can do things with the Hammerhead and with Sato and crazy numbers of black dice. It can be good too, but the Consular armed cruiser is really strong against squadrons with 2 blues. It's nasty if a ship lets it just snuggle up against it. It's got good defensive tokens, especially with Obi-Wan existing. It's a solid platform. I think the Charger in comparison requires more of a purpose.
I just think it's super flexible as a ship. Like, you can kit it out to be Radiant 7 with a fleet support, and then also clone nav officers so it can really support your fleet. But you can also put, a fucking advanced projectors on it, so it's super bulky and a brawler. It's just really versatile.
Don't put advanced projectors on this.
Why not?
Because it's got a total of 7 shields.
That's exactly the reason to put advanced projectors on it. This thing doesn't have a brace.
I don't
They hit
know.
the evade because they don't want you to cancel their fucking double hit. You redirect, and you just fucking absorb all that damage on your shields. And if you do take 1 damage, you gotta fucking contain. There you go. It's easy.
Yeah, I just have a problem with like an upgrade that like is 25% the cost of the ship. Especially like it's like really, if you have 1 or 2 of these in your fleet, like if they can trade up and die, that's fine.
Well, I hear you. I really do. But a Hardcell battle refit is 52 points. A consular armed cruiser with Zac, advanced projectors, and external racks is also 52 points. So, I hear what you're saying, but
Hardcell has something that this ship doesn't, which is red dice. For this ship to do the dangage, it has to get up and get smacked also. Like it's just like, unless you have like deployment advantage or first player, like yeah, there are situations you can get into where you have more ships than your opponent and like you can first last with this guy and get him out of danger and he doesn't die. But I think on a lot of situations, like if you can make this guy sub 50 points and he can do serious damage to like a 150 point ship, then it's fine. You're still gonna win.
With that logic, I would then take advanced projectors out, be at 46 points, and then do the fucking damage.
Yeah, you just do the dangage. And you build your fleet in a way where he
is expendable.
He's expendable, or your opponent doesn't have an opportunity to shoot back when he goes in for his one big shot.
Yeah,
because you're putting X-Racks, you're putting Zac, right? So then, like the total dice output with a concentrate fire is, let's see, 5, 6 with concentrate, 2 more. It's like 9 dice, right? Like,
yeah.
You go and you throw your 9 dice, and then you activate him first next turn, and maybe he lives, right? Or he dies because you're second player, or he dies because whatever. It's fine. He's only 50 points, right? Like, that's kind of how I build them.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have the Hardcell class battle refit. This guy's 52 points. He's got 3 red dice out of the front. Redirect, brace, and evade. He's got an offensive retrofit, a defensive retrofit, a turbolaser slot. What do you think of the Hardcell class battle refit?
Dude, the Hardcell battle is honestly like my favorite of the Separatist ships.
Whoa.
It's my favorite.
Why?
Because, like, first off, look at it. It's a dumb rocket that's flying sideways.
Yeah.
It's just dopey enough where I'm like, oh. It's like,
don't go aw.
It's like a puppy with one of those like wheelchair like legs. Where you look at it and you pity it and you're like, oh, you don't have back legs, but you've got little wheels.
Yeah.
So it's cute, but also like ugly.
It's ugly,
but still cute. You heard it here first, folks. He said that wheelchair dogs are ugly.
Oh no, my God.
But I like what this Hardcell can do. Because my favorite thing, get a Hardcell battle and put linked turbolaser towers on it. That's it. Done. You're done with it. That's it. You've built one of the most hilarious ships in the game. Congratulations. It's a small ship. It's got evade, brace, redirect. Amazing.
Yep. It is.
It can use the evade on squadrons. Just use it. Use it on the squadrons. Let them stay there. And then next round, you hit them with the linked Turbolaser towers, and you roll 1, 2, 3. You roll a blue and 4 blacks at their squadron, anti-squadron, with linked Turbolaser towers. Then, if you want to really do the damage, you put B2 rocket troopers, and you roll a blue and 5 blacks anti-squadron. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And is that counting concentrate fire? Because that's blue, black, black, black. B2 rocket troopers is 5. Con fire is 6. So that's 6 anti-squadron die.
Yeah. I mean, if you're shooting at a scatter ace, you better make sure you get that accuracy.
Well, you just add more blues. You roll the blue black, and you're like, no accuracies. Link Turbolaser towers, 2 blues. Oh, I got the accuracy. B2 rocket troopers a black. Another damage. There you go. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think really that's the only way I build them now. Is you put B2 rocket troopers, or if you don't want to spend the points, just link Turbolaser towers. There's no reason for TRCs or spinals or slaved turrets. If you put slave turrets on anything, like fucking don't talk to me. But that's it.
And I feel like a small pack of them is probably the most effective, like point for point damage output that the Seppies have at the moment.
Yeah, you want like 2 or 3.
And you just kind of squad them up and pretend like that. It's
like it's one large ship. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's better than one large ship, because you overheat their tokens faster and activation advantage and all that. But yeah, you fly them and they all hit the same target and kind of. They all have
concentrate fires and everything. Now, there is a disadvantage I found with the Hardcells. Is that they're command 1. And they really want concentrate fires, and they really want confire tokens.
Yeah.
Which means you really don't want to be flying them very fast, especially at speed 3. So you're either going with speed 2, and if you do speed 2, plan to be at close range at round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go speed 1, and then you plan to engage at round 3, which has its disadvantages.
The ship that the Hardcell reminds me of the most, and it kind of makes me sad. It reminds me of if the Nebulon had a redirect.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 50-something point ship with 3 red dice out of the front, weak sides, go speed 3.
Yeah, and for sure.
The Nebulon with a redirect would have been
it's just
so
got
much better.
The Nebulon just has double brace, so it's not as good.
Yep, that's true. And the Nebulon arcs are a little bit crappier.
Well,
right?
I mean, you can put Vanguard on it, and you can get that.
Don't talk to me about Vanguard.
That fucking redirects.
No, because I want to run it with Salvation, obviously.
Well, you can't. You can't have it all, man.
Anyway, yeah, but also the Nebulon's more of a sniper in the way that its arcs are designed than the Hardcell, which has a little bit of a wider front arc, a little bit more forgiving. I love the Hardcell.
It's one of the best small ships, I think. It just survives for so much longer than you think it will, because it has access to all the good defense tokens: brace, redirect, evade. And if they're a ship that's larger than you, burn the evade, cancel 2 die. It doesn't matter. Especially if you're running Grievous. You just spend all those tokens, man.
True. Grievous. Disgusting. Moving forward in our lives, we have the other consular class, the Charger C70. And this is the guy who's like, oh, look at me. I'm definitely just like a Rebel CR90A. And
pretty much, right?
Yes, and also kind of no. Like,
this is like the ship that's not as good, but you don't really know why.
Oh, I know why.
You know why? Because I don't know. Like, it looks like a good ship. It's got a bunch of red dye. It's got fucking Turbolaser offensive retrofit. It seems fine.
No, the reason why Okay, let me tell you. Is the CR90 has the double click at the end of every speed. You can always at the end and get out of an arc.
Yeah.
And it's got double evade, so you can put TRCs on it, and you're fine. Like, you don't care, right?
Okay.
That's why, because if you put TRCs on this, you're spending your only evade, right? And that is not good. It is not good to do.
So it's just not as good because it's not as evasive?
It's not as good because, well, wait, what do you mean? It's not as good because TRC is the best Turbolaser upgrade, and it's really only super viable on ships with 2 evades, in my opinion.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
You just spend them. Just spend it, dude, and then get your evade back with Grievous.
No, this is not a Grievous ship. This is a
every
Republic
ship
ship.
Can be a Grievous ship.
No, stop. You're done. This is a worse CR90 Corvette A because it's not as maneuverable and it doesn't have double evade, so you have to take Link Turbolaser Tower instead of TRC, which is not as good. And that's my final answer. That's it.
Do you ever take the red CR70 over the fucking Consular?
They're both consulars. No, I never take the I mean, the Charger over the armed cruiser. I have taken Chargers over armed cruisers. They want to kind of... They're the ship that you can try to build in a way that keeps them alive throughout the game.
A little bit longer, a little bit more survivable.
Just because they can stay farther away from problems than the other Charger, you know?
Do you think, what is it, the Charger with the red die, do you think you take that with Swift Return more than the armed cruiser, or...
No.
When do you take the Swift Return title?
You take it in objectives where you want to be near the obstacles.
Yeah.
Or objectives that involve the gravity rift, because the ability to like suddenly speed up, kind of cool.
Kind of pretty good.
I don't take Swift Return too often, to be honest.
What about the other title, Radiant 7? Do you take that at all now with the Pelta out?
No.
It's just completely out of the game.
No, it's not out of the game. I just have been playing the Peltas instead. You know?
You just generally like the Pelta more than Radiant 7? Because, like, it's 46 points for Radiant 7. It's 45 for just a Pelta.
Right.
You know? You just take the Pelta, right?
It depends on what you're doing. And, you know, maybe the next time I fly the Republic, I'll put some Chargers in there, because I think that they can be fine. Actually, I think that the list that they would be best with is what's his name? The commander that makes your tokens do more squadron activations. Yularen, yeah.
Because right now, like, I'm looking at them, I don't see a reason to take a Charger C70 Radiant 7. Not even a Charger C70. I've got the expensive one on. That's probably why. So you take the armed cruiser, but you take it as Radiant 7. It's 38 points. Okay.
Usually I take Radiant 7 on an armed cruiser just because it's cheaper, and I'm taking it for the, you know, Radiant 7-ness of it.
Yeah, because I was looking at the Charger, and I was like, this is 45 points. And the Pelta, the cheap one, is 45 points. So why would you ever take that? But the armed cruiser is the cheaper way of getting fleet support.
So, like, if I had, like, 4 ships or 5 ships, and I had a Radiant 7 with parts resupply or something, and then I sent everyone a token and then just kind of ran him in to kill him, or, you know, and trade up, you know, that might be worth it, I suppose.
Or you take the armed cruiser Radiant 7 when you need to, like, when you're trying to do a strategy where you're moving pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, the Pelta can't keep up because it only goes speed 2, but...
Right.
I don't really know of a situation where you would really do that.
Well, if you're playing Mercy Mission, or if you're playing the objective where you have to turn the board sideways, like, you don't want Peltas, you want Chargers.
Yeah. But you don't really get to pick that if you're second player, right?
That's true. And then we have a Hardcell class transport. The flotilla-ish version.
The Flotilla Light, yeah.
What do you think of this guy?
Man, it's amazing. This is just an amazing carrier ship. Fleet support, everything. It's another one that just... It does way more than you expect it to do. It's got double officer, which I think is super overlooked in almost every regard when someone is using a Hardcell transport.
Officers are great. 2 officers is amazing.
2 officers is amazing. The titles are hit or miss. They're pretty fucking expensive for what they do. My favorite way to kit this out is Flight Commander, Hondo, Bomber Command Center.
Oh, really?
And Medical Team. Medical Team's 1 point, just put it on there. Yeah, because I mean, Flight Commander, it lets you resolve your squadron command after you execute a maneuver, which gets around some of the issue of having fast bombers and Bomber Command Center. Because if your bombers are like speed 4, there's a good chance that you're going to overextend with your bombers trying to start attacking a ship, and then you're out of range of Bomber Command Center, which is especially detrimental when your bombers only roll red die. So I like running Flight Commander so I can move my ship into the area where my bombers are going to go and make sure that they get in range of Bomber Command Center.
Well, why don't you just use Navuta B?
Fuck you. Fucking Navuta B is the most bullshit thing, honestly. But I think Bomber Command Center is super necessary if you're taking Hyena bombers at all. I think that you either take a Hardcell transport with Bomber Command Center, or you just take Tri-Fighters.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 options. There are no other options.
The rerolls are huge on red bomber dice, right? You
cannot run Hyenas without Bomber Command Center. It's just, you can't do it. It's objectively wrong. It's just, you were just incorrect.
You can do it.
No, you can't. If you run Hyenas without Bomber Command Center for Separatists, you're wrong in every regard. And if you come up to me and you're like, I ran Hyena bombers and I rolled double hits, and I killed the ship and it was fine. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the amount of consistency that you're experiencing is so slim that I expect that you will get struck by a bolt of lightning on your way home. That's how slim.
Bro, I've seen you do that double hit nonsense, so don't even tell me.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about other people who aren't as good.
Okay, look.
All right, so I've got to average this down, and when you average it out, if you average out my dice rolls, it is about even.
Okay, so what I'll say is, if you're running Hyena bombers, it is much more efficient to include Bomber Command Center.
That's what I said.
You said it differently. Okay.
That's exactly what I said, though.
And that's our small base.
Look, no,
Clone
don't you
Wars
fucking cut
review.
me off. I'll fucking say this. All right, look, my lists, I have DBS 404 and 1 Hyena bomber, and I take Bomber Command Center.
With 1 Hyena bomber, you do not.
No, a Hyena bomber and DBS 404. All right? That's 5 red die.
Yeah.
You take the fucking Bomber Command Center, and you're wrong if you don't.
Okay.
I know what I'm fucking talking about, okay? Don't fucking try and cut off my segment when I'm talking about fucking Separatist Squadrons.
Okay, let's do some list review now that you've gotten that off your chest. So thanks to everyone who sent in a list for us to review. We got more than we could review in 1 episode. Probably got more than we could review in a few episodes. So we're going to get through.
We'll get to them all, though.
We will.
We'll just keep using them.
Yeah, we will get to your list if you sent it in. It just might not be today, but thank you guys for sending in lists. And if you have a list to submit, leave a comment or send us an email, or I think we had someone send us an Instagram message, whatever those are called.
It's just an Insta post, yeah.
What is it? It's a
Insta post or something.
We posted No, but they, I think, messaged us on
They
Instagram.
messaged us, yeah.
We're not great at Instagram.
Well, why don't you start by telling them how we review our list?
Okay, so this is how we review our list. We review our list based on the following criteria: presentation, smell, texture, taste, and creativity. And actually, the most important thing is the name that you give your list. So don't forget to give it a name. So today we have a list submitted by the Star Wars Tabletop blog. Make sure to check them out on Instagram and read up on their Star Wars Armada tutorials and battle reports. Their website is starwarstabletopgaming.wordpress.com. And they sent us a list.
A trench list.
A trench list, because I was like, someone send me a cool trench list. And they did send me a cool trench list. So I love this. And you are the resident Seppi expert. But let me run through the list and maybe you can give us your thoughts on it.
All right.
So this is a trench commander list. And we've got a Munificent comms frigate as the flagship with trench, Watt Tambor, auxiliary shields team, reserve hangar decks, and LTTs. And then we've got another comms frigate with Hondo as the officer, auxiliary team, reserve hangar deck, LTTs. We have 3 Hardcells. We've got a battle refit with Beast of Burden, and then a transport with munitions resupply, transport with parts resupply, and 4 times Vulture Droid fighter squadrons for 399 points. And then we've got Most Wanted, Contested Outpost, and Solar Corona as the objectives. So when you saw this list, just kind of at first glance, what were your thoughts?
It was interesting. But again, it's doing the thing that Trench makes me do that I don't like, where I have to jump through so many hoops, and it's like Trench bucks. I've got to spend all this money to make Trench do what he should just do, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like I've got 2 Hardcell transports, which is already setting off red flags for me, because it's one. You take 1 Hardcell transport. You don't want to take 2.
What's wrong with
because
2?
You're not getting consistent damage. It's red, red, blue at the front, not triple red, and you don't have a red off the side. So your range is super limited on your ships, which isn't good for Separatists because, they're all about range and staying alive and the red die. So when 2 of your 5 ships are restricted in that way, it's not good, especially the ones that have no upgrades for offense. It's just munitions resupply, parts resupply. So you're either putting them behind your Hardcell battle, your 2 comms frigates, or you're putting them in the front. And so they're either not going to do anything or they're going to die.
Okay, but here's what I will say. Here's this. First of all, plus 3 points for the name of the list, which is In the Trenches.
Yeah. High marks on presentation. Very nice.
Second, I love, actually, I know you said like 2 transports, blah, blah, blah. You kind of, I forgot after that. But
were you not listening?
One has munitions resupply.
You're not listening while I was breaking it down?
One has parts resupply, right? So everyone can get lots of tokens to feed trench, right? So when munitions resupply feeds tokens, like everyone gets an extra die, right?
Yeah.
So that seems good. It's nice.
It does seem good. Yeah.
You like
I didn't get to that part yet.
The part that I'm confused about, because like Watt and auxiliary shields team and LTT all seems fine on comms frigates. Hondo's good, obviously token generation, right? Reserve hangar deck was the question mark for me. It seems like it doesn't have synergy with the list. It's just like saying +2 droid fighter squadrons.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is true.
It's not like a Grievous list where it's like triggering other things to go off. Like
yeah, but the thing with that is you've only got 4 vultures. They're all going to die.
Oh,
and
for sure.
It allows you to have your vultures maybe get out of position a little bit. But if they're still within 5 and it dies, you can bring it back to protect your comms frigate.
That's fair.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's a little expensive, but I mean, what can you do? Having the 4 vultures is pretty good. But it's again, the trench is, because you pass out all these tokens, you pass out the parts resupply, you pass out the munitions resupply. Trench starts on like fucking turn 2, right? You want Trench to start on turn 2 or turn 3? You want him to start on turn 2, yeah. So Trench starts at turn 2. What are you gonna do with Trench? Are you gonna
on turn 2?
On turn 2, are you gonna do nav? Are you gonna?
Well, yeah, you're definitely, I think,
naving with
for everyone on turn, right? So like turn 1, everyone's taking a nav token.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Is it better than just naving on turn 2 and then? The problem with Trench is I don't know how to fully utilize him for like what he needs.
Well, I don't even think that like the fact that it lets you put 4 dials. Don't think of it as 4 different rounds, but like
4 different options, maybe.
Right. So even if you only trigger him around 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5, 6, like it's still good, even though you don't use it all 4 times that you can. But 3, 4, 5, 6 is 4 rounds, so you could do it like that also.
Yeah, but you're not going to use them on round 6, I don't think.
You might for like engineering.
Maybe.
Right? Because that gives you dial plus token.
I like the idea of having 4 different options, or maybe not 4 different options, but at least of the 4 dials, 3 of them are different. If you need one, you pick it.
If I were to make any adjustments to this list,
all right, let's hear it.
How do you feel about bringing a comms frigate down to another battle refit, and then spending the extra points on more squadrons?
I mean, that could work. I like the idea of double Munificent, though. I just think he's brought the wrong ship.
You think it should be
Munificent?
Not the comms frigate?
Here's what I did. So I changed both of his comms frigates to the Star Frigate. Because if you're taking the comms frigate and you're not taking Flag Bridge Intensify Firepower, then there's essentially no point in having the comms frigate at all.
Well, didn't he take it for... I mean, he has reserve hangar deck, which is you can't do with the Star Frigate, right?
Exactly. But, I mean, we're getting there. Because this next list that I made has no squadrons, so there's no reason for that at all.
Okay.
So that's besides the point. But I changed both of the comms frigates to Star Frigates because I think they're objectively better.
If you're not pushing squadrons.
Or no, just at all. I just think they're better. It's just a better ship, dude. You got Trench, Tambor, Medical Team, Thermal Shields, PDICs, LTTs, and Top 12 on one of them.
Okay, you really... Hold on. You said you've got Tambor.
Tambor. We got Medical Team. Thermal Shields. Because the Star Frigate can take Thermal Shields. PDICs. Yeah. Linked Turbolaser Towers.
A great defensive upgrade on the ion cannon slot.
It's amazing.
And then LTTs.
And the Tide of Progress 12.
So that's...
This is a staple Munificent.
It's only 9 points more than the one that he has as his flagship.
Yeah, it's so amazing, so survivable. It's got better contain with Medical Team and Tide of Progress 12. I just can't talk up this version of the Munificent enough. It's amazing. If you're playing Separatist and you haven't run it yet, run it. Thank me later. Thank me in the comments, actually. I'll be hearing from you soon.
So you've got one Star Frigate. What about the other one?
The next Star Frigate, it's got Hondo Ohnaka, Auxiliary Shields Team, Thermal Shields, PDICs, and LTTs.
Okay.
And really, we took the Auxiliary Shields Team because it's not Tide of Progress 12, so it's not going to have the kind of benefits and like pseudo-contain, so we're just putting more shields up there. So you just redirect the damage instead of taking it on the hull. Right. Then I've got 2 Hardcell battle refits with linked Turbolaser Towers. And a Hardcell with, you can do munitions or parts resupply. It doesn't really matter. And that's it. No squadrons. You don't need them.
They're just going to die anyway.
They're going to die anyway. You've got PDICs on your 2 big ships. Your Hardcells have evades, and they've got linked Turbolaser Towers, but you have 2 battle refits now. So anything that gets close to them, you just tear them to shreds with the battle refits. Your Munificents have red-black anti-squadron, plus linked turbolaser towers. And so just kill them. Just kill the squadrons. Don't shoot at any of the aces. It doesn't matter. Kill all the generics. Their aces won't be able to do any damage unless they have Anakin. So you just kill all the generics and then it's over.
Oh, you're assuming you're fighting the Republic?
No, I just think that the only squadron that needs to be dealt with that isn't a generic is Anakin. Any of the other ones is fine.
I'm going to say wrong. You've got Merrick Steele. Yes.
Merrick Steele, he does 2 damage. He does 2 damage. That's fine.
Twice.
Yeah. But, like, just kill him. I mean, like, scatter aces. Like, there's no scatter ace that's going to really do anything.
Oh, no scatter ace that will threaten a ship, like, hugely, right?
Because those are the ones that you're like, should I flak it? Should I worry about attacking it? It's like, no. Don't worry about the scatter aces. None of them can do damage. And just shoot all the generics down.
Yeah.
You're like, if they get into black range of your hard cells, just target them with it. Anti-squadron, 5 fucking black die at them, and destroy them. Just eliminate them. It's over. And then do that with your other hard cell battle refit, your star frigates. Just throw fucking black die at all their generic squadrons. It's done.
What do you think of the objectives? Most Wanted, Contested Outpost, and Solar Corona?
They're good. I don't like Contested Outpost or Solar Corona as objectives anymore. Like, Contested Outpost is fine, but Fire Lanes is better. So just take Fire Lanes.
Fire Lanes has a similar idea that you're going for, where it's like, this is the area of the board that I want to be, and you have to come to me.
Yeah, it lets you control the board, but you can strafe it. You don't have to be on top of Contested Outpost. Like, take Contested Outpost and then play against someone who has an onager.
Right.
Okay? Where do you think they're going to put their ship? Right there. Because they know you're going right there.
Right.
Fire lanes, you can at least kind of shimmy around. You can dodge and still...
Especially with these red dice ships, you can be at range basically 5 of the tokens. And it's
still
just
be getting the same value, yeah.
It's the same as if you were at range 1, and you get more points per turn.
And you get more points. Fire lanes, it's the most points.
Yeah. Solar Corona is perfectly fine. I think we just don't like it because everyone plays it a lot.
Well, I just don't like Solar Corona because it makes boring games. And if you're playing it efficiently, the game will always end in a 6-5. And I don't think that's fun to go into a game thinking that you're going to just kind of tie either way, like a 6-5. I don't want to play games like that. I would just take Infested Fields.
True.
Because even if they get all of the tokens because you have no squadrons, the benefit of you being able to throw asteroids in front of their big ships far outweighs whatever points they get.
Yes, throw asteroids at them.
And that's it.
Thanks for sending us in the list. Star Wars tabletop blog. Hope you liked our review. Let us know how it does. And we've got one more we're going to review today from Lane Todd. And this list has another great name, which is called No Shields for You. It's an Imperial list, and the commander is Admiral Screed. Screed is the OG gangster, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I remember Screed.
So Screed is in an onager.
Weird.
And we've got Captain Nita in there as well, with weapons battery techs, gunnery chief Varnillion, linked turbolaser towers, and super heavy composite beam turbolasers for 163 points.
Gesundheit.
We've got an interdictor, suppression refit with Grint, projection experts, disposable capacitors, targeting scrambler, grav shift reroute, HIEs, interdictor, and then a gladiator with Iden Versio, ordnance experts, APTs, and demo. We've got Sienna, Valen Rudor, and the objectives are surprise attack, contested outpost, and infested fields for 396 points. At a glance, what are you thinking about this list?
I'm trying to figure out what it's trying to do right now. Because it's got so many components from different lists that I'm trying to line them all up.
Well, you've got to... first of all, I think this list just has 3 strong pieces, right? Like, instead of thinking about the list as like, oh, the whole list has some sort of theme, right? a Gladiator 1 with Ein Versio OE APT demo, like that is solid, right?
I would take external racks. APT's out of the game now.
Why is it out of the game now?
Dude, thermal shields. You can't go up against a thermal shields list and just get your black
a Gladiator
dice neutered
can.
like
It's got 4 black dice.
No, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you could probably get away with running APT and just have them spend their brace, but
I mean, not everyone has thermal shield. It's only Clone Wars factions, right?
You have to consider it.
That's true. You have to consider it. It depends on your meta. If you're seeing a lot of thermal shields, I understand swapping APT out for.
Dude, I'm saying if you go into list building and you just say APT, it's over, I think you're not giving it the credit it's due.
But unlike a lot of ships, even taking out half the dice, you can't take away all of his black dice.
You can from the front.
You can from the front, but he's got the side. His side is still nasty.
It's true.
You can't.
I don't know.
You can't thermal shields it all away.
I'm saying.
I think
you have to think
ship,
about it.
If there is a ship that has to worry less about it,
it's the Gladiator. Yeah,
because he has a whole
that, yeah.
side of only black dice.
I agree. Of all the ships that have to consider it, Gladiator can get away with it the most. But I still think that you have to think of, is it worth just getting cut down like that? Down to 2 black die out the side.
It does suck. But I think that between this and the Onager, like that ship with thermal shields is going to have to think about, like, what are you using your brace on, right? Like, if they both shoot the same target. Okay, now your brace is gone. Nice.
Speaking of the Onager,
yeah,
what is going on with the Onager?
So
what is Nita doing here?
It's giving an evade.
Why?
Because, well, I think because, and this is me guessing, but the Onager likes to be far away from the enemy. Having an evade seems good when you're at longer ranges.
It would be if you just got an evade.
Yeah, but you give up something for an evade.
You just replace. What are you replacing? Your brace?
It's got to be the salvo.
Redirect?
It's got to be the salvo. There's no way.
Onager has good salvo. He's got red, blue. That's good.
Yeah, he does.
It's not like you're giving it up for a 1 red salvo. That's 3 die salvo. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
So that's really my biggest issue with the Onager right now.
It's just Nita.
It's just Nita. Like any of the other officers, like Krennic, Palpatine, even Titus I think is a better option than Nita, which is saying a lot. But you've got the points for Krennic. I would just put Krennic in there. Well, Krennic he doesn't work at extreme, so I guess that he's out. I would just put Titus. Titus is better. Fuck with their speed a little bit. I mean, maybe if you catch someone going speed 1,
you can go 0 and just
put them at 0
them.
And fucking delete them. Yeah,
they deserve to die if they deploy at speed 1 against Titus.
Yeah, you're essentially saying that you have to deploy at speed 2 or above, and then you just kind of fuck with them that way. And then if they go speed 2, you make them go speed 3 at the start, and then snipe that one because it's too close. I think
Titus goes with having the interdictor around as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they both work pretty well together. And weapons battery techs, that can be good to get off your particle cannon beam thing.
Right, because you want the red crit.
But like getting rid of the accuracy is rough, man. You want the accuracy.
Yeah. I mean, because it's rolling, 3 red, 2 blue, 2 black out of the front with the...
Yeah, I would say if this was the test bed, weapons battery techs would fit better. But you've got 2 blue. There's a good chance you're going to get an accuracy. Just take the accuracy. And don't change it into a crit. And then if you do get a red accuracy, just reroll it with linked turbolaser towers.
So what instead of weapons battery techs?
Ordnance experts.
What about sensor team to guarantee the accuracy?
No, you got to spend a die. I don't like that card.
So OE just to reroll your 2 blacks?
Yep.
Blacks
And
are
if your
good.
2 blacks have, like if you roll and you've got fucking double hit on your 2 blacks, you con fire another black, you blank out on that one, you ordnance experts the hit and then the blank, and I think it's better than changing an accuracy to a crit, which you're really only doing on your red die anyway, because you want to trigger your particle beam cannon. You know, like that's the trick. You take the red accuracy, you change it to a crit, and you activate the ignition red crit effect. But if you have linked turbolaser towers, you just re-roll it. You just re-roll it, and that's fine. It's not as consistent, but I think overall it's better.
And then we've got an interdictor here with projection experts, decaps. I think decaps is great on the interdictor, right? Like
it's stapled on there. It's
you get
so
the double
good.
arc, and then you're rolling like 8 dice. It's like great.
It's really good.
With HIEs, if you roll better than me, if you roll 8 dice, you'll probably get a blue crit. So it's pretty good. What do you think of these tech options here? Grab, shift, reroute, and targeting scrambler.
They're good. They're really good. And this is one of the reasons why I was like, why is Nita on the Onager? Because you've got targeting scrambler.
Right.
So it's like, if they get to you at close range and you can target the scrambler, why have Nita?
Yeah.
Because then your evade is just weaker. So targeting scrambler is always good. Grab, shift, reroute, again, super good option. Oh, and we haven't been talking about how he has fucking Screed as his Admiral. So he's just spending die and getting the crits anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. He's always going to get the HIE. He's always going to get the particle cannon.
Yep. Does that change your mind about
No, it doesn't.
weapons battery techs?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Because it actually means
look,
weapons battery techs is less useful, right? Because you're screeding for the crit anyway.
Yeah, you're screeding for the crit anyway, so weapons battery techs is even less useful, and re-rolling black die is even better. Because if you roll your attack pool, and let's say your blacks are blank, but also some of your reds are blank, that means you can re-roll your blacks with ordnance experts and re-roll a red with linked turbolaser towers, and then if you still don't get what you need, then you can spend Screed for maximum damage. But again, what's good about orbital bombardment particle cannons is not the crit effect. It's the fact that it attacks at ignition long.
Right.
So fishing for the black crit, I don't think is what you need to be doing. Because it doesn't do any more damage to the ship you're attacking. It's only if other ships are near it. It's not the blue crit.
Right. I mean, just the extra range on orbital bombardment makes it worth it, right?
That's what I'm saying, is that's what you're getting it for. So if you blank out on one of your double hit blacks, like you for sure go for that instead of the red crit.
But I think he has super heavy. Are you saying he should switch it to OB?
I fucking had orbital bombardment. Okay, yeah, he has the super heavies. Sorry, I put the red one on here when I was putting the list up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is better. I would say depending on your shot, you just have to call it for whatever the most damage is going to be, depending on how many crits you have. I still think the build I have is better with Ordnance Experts and Titus instead of Nita. Now I don't know what the fuck Nita was doing there.
So, I mean, honestly, though, the list seems really solid because really the only changes is, like, I think changing to Titus, change one officer, maybe change APT to Extracts, and put Ordnance Experts in there?
I wouldn't say maybe change it, but you do have to think about what you're going up against. If you're going up against Clone Wars, you should consider it. And another maybe is switching out Targeting Scrambler for G7X Grab Wheel Projector.
No. I wasn't going to say that. Leave Targeting Scrambler. I was going to say take out Grab Shift for G8 because it goes with Titus.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean?
Titus just reduces their speed. If he reduces their speed to 0 when they're in the deployment zone, there's no way that you can get there without engine techs. Even if you have engine techs, you can't get there in time to reduce or to lock them down. So they'll always be able to speed up. before you get to them. So it's just unless you have a fucking, you need a different suite of objectives to make that shenanigan work, and then it still might not work because they could have clone nav officer or Hondo or anything like that, and it's just not possible.
And I assume this list is called No Shields for You because the interdictor has HIEs on it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think it's just 3 strong pieces. You're going to fly them, like you're going to fly the interdictor kind of in front of the onager slightly, right? Like,
yeah,
he's going to try to tank. And then the gladiator can get projected experts over to it if it takes damage. But he's going to maybe pincer in from the side and pow, pow, pow.
Yeah, I think the interdictor works well projection expertsing like the gladiator and the onager. Onager is what really needs it, I think, more than the gladiator.
Yeah. And then, like, unlike Seppies, you can just have these 2 squadrons and they will be incredibly annoying and last until round 4 at least.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, these are really good squadrons.
Is Iden Versio best here because it makes the evade better, or is it for a raid?
I'll let you ask that one again. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I think Contested Outpost could be fire lanes. And then you have Infested Fields, and Surprise Attack is good.
Yeah. Surprise Attack, I would consider maybe changing Targeting Scrambler for G7X Gravwell Projector. Because if someone is willing to take Surprise Attack, you can put the Gravwell token right there, and their flagship is at 0, and you fucking blow them up.
That's delicious, actually.
Yeah. And then the first raid dial you reveal is nav. So the only thing they can do is spend a nav token to clear it, or spend their dial or anything. They can't go up to speed 1. So,
right, and they would need to have like CommsNet or Hondo or some way to generate that token.
They would need to have like Hondo or Clone Nav Officer, as well as making their first dial nav.
Which they would if you force them to deploy.
Which they would, yeah. But that's a lot of fuel. And then they're out of Hondo, they're out their Clone Nav Officer for that round, they've got to refresh it.
I mean, let's be honest, they're just not taking Surprise Attack if you have... I mean, if they figure it out, right, they're not taking Surprise Attack if you have that...
yeah, and then you're essentially forcing like a Fire Lanes or an Infested Field, which are both amazing. True. Especially Infested Field, because you have fucking the interdictor grab shift reroute. Amazing.
Kind of toxic. Cool list, guys. Thanks for sending in your lists. And if anyone else has a list that they want us to review, you can send it in with a comment. All right, we got one more section here. We want to talk about the Bad Batch. So for those of you who have not seen Bad Batch,
spoilers.
You can go do something else. You can go.
You'll actually go watch Bad Batch, and then
go watch Bad
tell
Batch.
us what you thought about Bad Batch in the YouTube comments, because we would like to hear what everyone else thought about the Bad Batch show. But if you have seen it, you can stay here and listen to what we thought about Bad Batch.
So since you put this in the show notes...
Oh yeah, get a nice yawn in there for everyone. That's great.
Since you put it Bad Batch in the show notes, what were your thoughts?
It was okay.
Glad. I'm so glad that you shared this deep information with us. Thank you for that hot take.
You asked what my overall thoughts were, and I think overall it was okay.
Okay.
But I don't think that all of the episodes were okay. I think some of them were just bland and bleh, not needed at all. You know? You know what I mean?
Part of me feels like it could have been 8 episodes.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Like the beginning and end was...
or 16 episodes?
16, yeah.
No, 8 episodes.
Like the beginning was amazing. The first episode, right? And then the last 2 episodes I thought were great.
Yes.
But then, like, did you need the 13 episodes in between?
Did we need the Indiana Jones minecart episode? Did we need that?
No, not really.
Do you remember that one? Did
Yes,
we need
of course.
that episode?
It was right near the end, so of course I remember it.
I don't think we
needed it either.
Well, first off, let's talk about what was really good about the show. Actually, what was so amazing, and I couldn't stop talking about it, is just the quality of the animation.
Yeah, really good.
I've told several people that I think Star Wars The Bad Batch TV show on Disney Plus is, in fact, the best piece of animation that exists today. I don't think there's anything that comes close to the level and quality of animation that The Bad Batch has.
It is definitely top tier.
Like you say that like you're dodging like my
dodging
opinion because like what are you saying? Do you think like you watched episode 1 of Bad Batch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched all the episodes.
What has better animation quality just than that one episode? Anything. Right. Tell me. I'm listening.
I just like there are animated feature films that look as good, I think.
No, but I don't agree with that at all. Like what? Well, what? Tell me. That has just pure animation quality.
Yeah. What's
better than what we saw in Bad Batch?
It's tough. Let me think here. I would make an argument for modern Pixar movies or Disney animated films or like How to Train Your Dragon, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is on the same level in terms of lighting, particle effects, like, but there's not a ton and nothing in the television quote unquote space. That's where I'll come down.
I don't know. I was just watching it and I was like, this is the most detailed and insane shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine watching this as a movie?
Yes. I mean, I could have imagined like 4 episodes of it being a movie and being really good. My favorite episodes, I mean, the Hera episodes were great.
The Ryloth episodes, yeah, those were... Dude, Ryloth has the best fucking episodes. Why is it like every time we go to Ryloth, it's always fucking amazing?
Because it matters to... Like... because it matters, right? Like compared to like the minecart episode or like one of the random, like they go out and have like a heist and then come back, like the Ryloth episode is impactful because it's kind of like animation Star Wars version of like showing us what's going on in the galaxy. Like Ryloth is like just an example of a planet where things are happening on a larger scale, right? We're getting like...
It's kind of like representing the rest of the galaxy.
Exactly. We have like, you know, the Senator, and we have like, you know, a whole uprising of a planet, and like, and it's been in Clone Wars, it's been in Rebels, right? And now it's in Bad Batch, and like every time they go to Ryloth, like you said, like the story that they choose to tell is like not a small story, whereas like sometimes in these episodes they tell just a really small story, which is
but Ryloth they were like, we turned in all of our weapons because we trusted the Empire, but they fucking assassinated Orn Free Taa, and now we're feeling like this shit isn't gonna go well for us. So now we need to smuggle our weapons back. And the Bad Batch, they were in the fucking episode for not even 2 minutes, and it was one of the best fucking episodes of the whole show.
Yeah, which shows you the strength of the time period that they're working in. And
I think that's an example of some of the good episodes. Now, here's a description of one episode of the show, and I want you to tell me which episode it is.
Oh, don't do this.
I want you to tell me, okay? You can't... I'll hear your keyboard. No keyboard. Hands off. Okay. The Batch accept a rescue assignment in exchange for some information. Omega is told to stay on the ship.
Fuck you. That's not... There's no way that's a description of an episode.
Yeah, dude. It's one of the episodes. Tell me which one it is.
That's all of the episodes. That's the description of the whole show. What do you mean? God. What episode is that?
Episode 5, Rampage.
Jesus Christ.
Another episode that could just be gone. Like, why did we need this weird Rancor episode where Wrecker fucking wrestles a Rancor fucking bullshit? Did you see that? And you're like, this is some ridiculous shit right here. He's fucking fist fighting a Rancor.
Now, let me tell you something, though. Okay? Let me tell you something. How many episodes in Season 1 of The Clone Wars did not need to be there?
How many episodes in Season 1 of Clone Wars was there?
You told me not to type on my keyboard.
No, you can Google it now. Yeah, you can.
Okay, hold on. Let's find out. Season 1 has 22 episodes.
Okay.
In fact, every season for the initial run had 22 episodes.
So, of the first season, how many episodes needed to be in that out of 22? Okay, 22 did not need to be in the first season. Here's the thing. Okay, so yeah, what was the episode where Ahsoka was reintroduced? She had her Shoto lightsaber, like her secondary dual-wielding one. Everything got a visual update, and then she was attacking on the ATT.
So that was Heroes on Both Sides, Season 3, Episode 10.
Okay. That's where the episodes start to matter. Okay, so any episode before that can not exist, and it's fine. Even any Ahsoka building, any introductions, because it essentially reintroduces the character in a non-kind of bullshit handholdy way. Like, right from the get-go, you know that Ahsoka's kind of a badass. She doesn't really follow the rules, and she learned it from Anakin, but Anakin's trying to, like, teach her, and they're both, like, student and teacher, and there's this whole galactic conflict. You don't need to know anything before that.
Okay, so just listen. So
I feel like I've jostled you a little bit.
What you're saying is there are a lot of episodes in Season 1 of the Clone Wars that didn't need to be there.
Yep.
Okay, now, how many episodes in Season 1 of Rebels didn't need to be there?
Less than
Clone Wars. Less than Clone Wars. Right?
Here, let me check. Rebels Season 1. I love Rebels, by the way.
I also love Rebels.
Yeah, less than the entirety of the first season of Clone Wars, for sure.
Less than 22.
Less than 22, yeah, because there's only 15 fucking episodes to shithead.
Right.
I would say in Bad Batch there are even less. There's probably 4 or 5 episodes I would take out.
Right. Okay, good. So what my point is both of those shows started with seasons that had a bunch of filler episodes in them. But then by season 3, season 4, it was just, like hit after hit after hit. You know what I mean? Like, there's not very many episodes.
But I reserve my right to be critical on the bad episodes. Do you remember us watching Rebels season 1 and we're like, why is this shit? This shit is garbage. Why am I watching Space Aladdin in my Star Wars show?
I just think they love to have a slow start. And I'm okay with watching Wrecker wrestle a Rancor, or watching 3 episodes where they go out on a mission and have to leave the girl in the spaceship, and she complains about it because
they all come back and have popcorn.
Bro, honestly, the product placement on the popcorn that you get from Disney World is like jarring. That's the popcorn from Disney World, right?
I did not make that connection.
The popcorn that you get at Galaxy's Edge at Disney World.
But like,
every time
while they were eating it, I was like, this is very clearly just popcorn. like they call it some weird name, but I'm like, that's popcorn, guys. That's popcorn. Like, I know a popcorn. And like, they even have the bowl with the fucking red and white stripes. Yeah, and I'm like, I know it's popcorn, guys. You don't have to do this. You put it in any bucket.
I just want to say that I trust them at this point, because this is the 3rd time they've done it, that season 2 will be better, and season 3, and then by season 4, we're going to be like, holy shit, this show's incredible, I can't believe it, blah, 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 blah.
It's a complete necessity. You can't take it out and it be Star Wars again.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, but I reserve my right to be critical on the shit that is unnecessary. But
Now,
also, I didn't think any episodes were bad.
no,
Like,
there were
remember
just some that didn't drive the plot.
you remember Bombad Jedi in the fucking
Stop it.
Clone Wars? That
Stop it.
dude, unwatchable, unfucking watchable. Oh, and what is better than seeing fucking Scorch in the fucking finale?
I know.
Like,
I'm a
what's
huge
better
Republic
than that?
Commando fan, so
What's better than that, man?
So it's considering this is an Armada podcast. Do you think that this show has any sort of content implications for Armada?
Other than the fucking batch shuttle? Not really.
I mean, the Batch Shuttle is more X-Wing, don't you think?
No. It's like the fucking Bad Batch Millennium Falcon. You put it on a squadron stand, you give it a unique ability, and then there you go, you're good.
I suppose if AMG did another fighter pack for the original trilogy era.
Another fighter pack? You mean if AMG does a pack at all?
No, I'm just okay.
Because they haven't done
no. They're making more stuff, but like
anything so far.
Well, okay, but give them a break. But what I'm saying is, like,
no. Until they do anything, I am going to continue being critical. Once they submit one thing, I'm back on board. But as of right now, only criticism from me.
Okay, fine. You can be critical, but I will be the voice of reason, which is that there's going to be more content. But I just don't think, like, let's say that, like, I'm in the board meeting for, like, okay, guys, we're going to make Armada content. What are we going to make? I don't think that a shuttle in the original trilogy era, which I guess is what we're in now because it's the Empire, right? So
yeah, so we're in Empire territory. But this is more of that
but then
pseudo,
again, like, that was
pseudo
Republic,
area.
so I don't know. But like a shuttle is not like
yeah, it's
high
not
up
a
on my
fucking
list.
expansion. No, it's not.
So I don't
Before
think this
fucking
is content.
U-wings and the Reaper. No,
Right? No. So like this could end up as a shuttle in X-wing. I think.
But that's what I'm saying is like that's really all I can see, you know, or maybe. It's some kind of reasoning for an Imperial Venator with
Right.
Admiral Rampart, you know.
Yeah, because of the bleed between Republic and Empire, I would not
there's
mind.
a little bit of bleed over there.
I would not mind them to acknowledge that somehow, either with like alternate paint jobs of ships, or if that's more expensive than they would like, than just card pack. Like, I don't care, you know.
I really don't care at this point. I just
we're in the bargaining stage. Give us anything.
Give us anything, yeah.
Do you think when AMG restarts production that they will? Okay, so when
you said,
don't say
no,
shit like that. You're not allowed to say shit like this.
I just did.
Not
fucking fight me, man.
Not on this goddamn podcast. So when AMG starts production, do you think that they're just gonna be like, okay, here's a wave, or do you think they're gonna be like, you know, we're taking a look at Armada, and we want to do a 2.0, and when it starts as AMG, it's gonna be a 2.0 version of in terms of rules, and then like that's when Armada gets like variable point costs like X-wing has. It gets you know rotating. You know, they have the seasonal shit that they do where they change the points and put things in hyperspace and out of hyperspace. I don't think Armada has enough stuff to worry about hyperspace, but you know, seasonal point changes and rebalance and all of that.
I would say I would be really worried if they opened up with wanting to do a 2.0. Because as of right now, I don't know of another miniatures game that has better rule set right now than Armada.
The rules
so I don't know what they would change for 2.0.
Well, I mean, like the one thing would be, and this was part of the reasoning when the developers came up with X-Wing 2.0, their original reasoning was, hey, some of these iconic ships that we made in Wave 1, 2, and 3 suck compared to newer ships because we got better at making the game. There's newer mechanics that they don't have, right? So like things like the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter got a lot better, right? And you know, I'm just looking at the Victory Star Destroyer and the Nebulon, like they could use a little bit of love. The assault frigate could use a little bit of love and a new model, honestly. And like, just for those things alone, is it worth it to say, even if the 2.0 is just like a new rule set with like adjustable point costs, like.
So here's my question: has AMG gotten better at making Armada?
What do you mean gotten better at it making Armada?
Like
they
you said,
haven't made any Armada.
X-Wing, they made the 2.0 because, as you said, we've gotten better at making X-Wing, blah, 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 all that. Has AMG done that, or did they fire all their devs? So
it remains to be seen, but
yeah. See, that's why I say I'm worried.
I'm just thinking of like a justification for a delay beyond just like we don't have.
I don't think that they need any more justification other than we are a one-game company that got saddled with 3 additional games in the span of a month, and we just literally do not have the time to do all of them.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's all. Like, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
But don't open up with the 2.0 as your opening move. That's not the way to go.
Yeah. You might be right.
What I would do is maybe a campaign pack and open with that. Or, more rule sets like unconventional warfare. And, just throw out 5 of them over the span of the year and see how people respond to them. See what people like.
Yeah.
And just practice, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And then make another wave. That's what I would do. But
so at the end of season 1 of The Bad Batch, we got a little tease, I guess, of season 2 with the shuttle taking.
It was Nala Se, right?
Yeah, taking Nala Se to that mountain. You added this into the show notes.
I did. I'm just like waiting to hear what you think about it. Because you were the one who told me that it was the Mount Tantus.
Yeah.
And then I'd ask you, does that mean something? And you're like, yeah, it's that one cloning mountain from Heir to the Empire.
Right.
And I immediately got excited.
Yeah, so for, I guess, those of you that haven't dived into, like, Legend Star Wars books, like...
Start with Heir to the Empire.
I mean, like, Heir to the Empire and that whole trilogy is really good. It's obviously not canon anymore, because it was written in, like, the 80s, but essentially part of the story is that the Emperor had a secret cloning facility on this planet called Wayland, and the mountain was called Mount Tantus, and that was where they were doing whatever cloning experiments. And
they were trying to like clone Palpatine, right, or something? Trying to clone Force people, right?
That wasn't really the point of them. Was just to be cloning things, people, whatever. Because, like, okay, spoiler alert, spoilers. If you haven't read Heir to the Empire, go away. Okay, now, no, the point of it was Thrawn was taking over the remnants of the Empire after Return of the Jedi. They had lost a lot of their, firepower, their might, right? So he needed what? More ships, and he needed troops, right? So to make him, have the capability of going head to head with the New Republic at that point, he needed a lot of troops, and so he cloned them. And so that was, he just had, his army was just cloned through these cloning vats on Mount Tantus on Wayland. And then for having more ships, that was where the Katana fleet was like, they started talking about like this fleet of like 200 ships that got lost, and they need, and then throughout the course of the book they find the Katana fleet, and that 200 ships plus lots of cloned people equals now I have a big fleet that I can take on the New Republic with, right? That was kind of the whole zhuzh of it. But the cool thing about what's happening in current lore is it seems like they're taking some pieces of that general thread and mixing it in with what's happening in The Mandalorian, and what happened in the sequel trilogy.
Well, because from the sequel trilogy, we know, spoilers, he fucking gets cloned and comes back. Somehow, Palpatine returns.
Palpatine has returned, right? So we're getting another piece of this puzzle, and this is actually the most interesting part, I think, for me, of the Bad Batch is the Kaminoans and the cloning and how that all relates to everything else that's going on. Because we saw some cloning going on in The Mandalorian with those, like, there was an episode where they went and found this facility where there are all these weird cloning things going on, and they kind of just looked at it and like were like, that's weird, and walked away.
They really want like fucking Grogu for his blood because of I think that they're trying to fucking clone Force users.
Yes. So the scientist that Nala Se runs into on that facility is wearing the same kind of outfit with the same kind of logos as the people who are trying to capture Baby Yoda, right? So all of those pieces are lining up, you know, and it would be very interesting.
Grogu. Say it.
It would be very interesting to see, you know, between The Mandalorian season 3 and the other Disney Plus shows that are coming out, how that plot thread weaves in from what's going on down here in the Bad Batch to that era. You know,
because they said that they were going to. They said that they were going to try and do like or they were leading to some kind of big Star Wars television event
where the shows
Avengers.
Lead together to yeah. And I think, like, you know, if that event is, you know, Thrawn's put the cloning with maybe another fleet that he finds somewhere or something, and they kind of do like a Heir to the Empire redux without some of the more weird shit that was in Star Wars at that time.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Ahsoka running around, you've got Luke with Baby Yoda, you've got, you know, the Mandalorians, and you've got, you know, Thrawn running around with cloning happening. It's all very cool.
Interesting.
And,
yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Same. So that's all I had to say about that.
I think that area would have more stuff for Armada than Bad Batch.
I know, that'd be so cool if, like,
you know,
there was a big space battle or two.
Got to be a big space battle, man.
I mean, they made the Architans look pretty badass.
Yeah. You
know, and it's like, hey, that's a tiny ship from our perspective, right?
Yeah. I'm excited. I thought the Bad Batch was okay. I think it would have been better, like 10, 12 episodes maybe. I don't think it needed. Oh, also, when do you think the boy Crosshair got his chip out, or do you think he still has it in?
It was an interesting decision to have him say, "I've got my chip out," but then it also seemed like he was still having headaches.
Yeah, because he said that he had it out for a long time.
Yeah. I wonder if they just told him they took it out, or he's mistaken and he actually has it in. So, I don't know. TBD.
I think it's more interesting if he has it out. And I think if he has it out, he would have gotten it out whenever they fucking fucked with his head. Essentially, right when Crosshair shaved his head is when he got his chip out.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
I just think it's overall more interesting than, no, I said that they took it out, but they lied to me and blah, blah, blah. I just think it's better if he's, like they said, his nature is just being kind of a dick.
I agree that it's more interesting to have him as a character who is making his own choices than to have this, like, we took it out and now you're our friend again.
Yeah, I was really sitting there like, how is this going to go, guys? Like, is he going to get taken back or is he going to refuse?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then he was like, I still don't like what you guys are doing. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he just fucking like sits on there until they come and get him, I guess.
I think for season 2, we're going to continue to see the Empire. Like, he's going to see the Empire, like, how he sees the Empire will change, I think, throughout season 2.
You want to know my hot take? I want him to just continue enjoying being with the Empire. Because there's so many story threads, and they did this in Resistance, even though I didn't fucking watch it, is just always they defect or they join with the Empire, and none of them end up liking it. Which I know is like, yeah, they're the bad guys. Nobody, though?
Right.
Nobody thinks that this, like, overwhelming galactic strength is probably a good idea to be on their side.
Yeah.
Can't he just be like, yeah, I went on a mission and fucking Darth Vader showed up. I don't know how you guys expect to deal with that.
Right.
But I think that's a pretty fucking powerful asset to have on my team.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
They do that thread a lot, and they also do the I've defected from the Empire and now I'm a good guy thread a lot.
Yes. And that, you know what other thread they also do? We're a bunch of gruff special ops person, and we find a child, and they show us our humanity. I love everything that Dave Filoni's done. You got to find a different way to tell a fucking story, dude. This is the 4th time, man. You got to figure something out. You gotta figure something else out on how to tell a story. This is the last one. It's over. If you do another story and there's a fucking child that shows up, a child showing up is fine, but you can only do Lone Wolf and Cub so many times, and it turns out that number is 4. You can do Lone Wolf and Cub 4 times, and that's it.
You know what's gonna be funny is when the Ahsoka show comes out and she finds a
child. No. Stop it!
Oh man, and it's like,
dude, it's too much. It's got to be something else. If she finds some fucking Greebling or whatever the fuck, I don't care. It's too much.
It's Ezra's child, and she has to find him to bring it back to him.
Stop it.
Thrawn's child, yeah, a little blue baby with red eyes.
At that point, I throw my hands up in the air, and I don't know what to do at that point. Too many babies. Tell one story without a fucking baby in it.
Okay, so like, I felt like season 1 of Bad Batch would have like made me understand at the end why Omega was there. Why is Omega there? Like from like the big like plot of the show.
See, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like Omega could have not been there.
I like Omega a lot. Like of all the children.
Dude, of all the children, she is the best one. They're getting better at writing kids.
Yes,
and
she's the best kid.
Dude, how adorable was it when like Hunter would do something, but you would see Omega in the back, like mimicking him? Omega. And I thought that shit was great. But again, it's like they keep like, I think they were just doing little crumbs, and they weren't giving me a taste of like what the fuck is going on with her.
Yeah. Because
like when she first showed up, you're like, oh, this bitch has force powers because she's got the fucking slicked back hair and the fucking headband, and I'm like, full on, I'm on board. I can you just by the character design, I know you have force powers. Don't hide it from me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but does she though? Because now would be the time to tell us. And then she's like,
no, it would actually be season 2 to tell us, right?
But it's like, but let me know where it's too
I want to
small.
know. Yeah, I mean, like, why did the Kaminoans make her? That's what I want to know. That's like.
Yeah, that's like why.
That's because we know why they made Boba, right?
Yeah, they made Boba for Jango.
And we know why they made the rest of the Bad Batch, right?
Yeah, because they're badass.
They were experimenting with messing with the genes to make super soldiers or whatever.
I guess how far they could push the gene.
But why did they make a girl clone? And she doesn't age quickly.
Yeah, she's a normal one.
And they made her before the Bad Batch because she's like, oh yeah, I remember when you guys were born. Right?
That was a weird line, right?
And I was like, that's okay. Weird. That's suspicious.
That's a weird thing to say.
Like, why do you exist, child? You were created. Why do you exist?
It would be fucking funny. It would be fucking
right?
funny if Django didn't specify what gender he wanted his child, and they were like, "All right, we made one girl and one dude. Pick like a Pokemon. Which one you want?" And he's like, fucking, I'll take the boy because I want him to be a fighter like me." And then they're like, "All right, we'll teach this one how to do clone shit, I guess, since we already fucking made her."
But I will contain my annoyance at not knowing why she exists until the end of season 2. If I get to the end of season 2 and I have still zero clue, I will be annoyed. Right now, I'm not.
How cool would it be though if the reason she's one of the unaltered clones is because she's going to show up in some of the later Mando era Star Wars?
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
However, I feel like they're all going to die by the end.
Really? They're going to get fucking Rogue One?
I feel like they have to get Rogue One, don't they?
See, because here's the thing. We said that about Rebels. But now we got Hera. Ahsoka back. We got Ezra, Sabine, Hera. All of them. The only person who died was Kanan.
He was the only one who really had to die, right?
It was so good that he died, though. Oh, that was so
great death.
Fucking good. It was so good.
Don't some of them at least have to die? Like, you can't just have a squad of clones running around. Like,
but why not, though? I think that these guys were flying too close to we're going to join the rebellion. Why? Go somewhere else. Go away.
Go do something else.
Go do something else.
I agree.
Go be a bunch of fucking badass mercenaries on somewhere, not the rebellion. Don't do that again. Go away.
Don't be Rebels version 1, right?
Exactly. Like when they were fighting with the bounty hunters and Cad Bane was showing up, I was like, this is some good shit right here. Like, I'm really liking this stuff.
The Cad Bane episode was awesome.
More that way. Less Saw Gerrera. Had enough of that dude. Guy's a dick.
He's racist against Geonosians.
He just hates everything. I don't think that dude enjoys living at all. He's just
true.
Like they showed up and he's like, "Whose side do you want?" And I'm like, "All right, man." They just decided not to kill you. Just a couple minutes ago, they decided maybe let's not kill these guys. And you're like, "You guys are fucking assholes." And I'm like, "You take like 20% off the top, man. You're coming at us too hard. We can still change our minds." Crosshair was really gunning for you like 2 minutes ago. So.
Okay, well, that's all I got on Bad Batch.
Yeah, pretty good show. I liked it. Season 2 is going to be fucking amazing, though.
I have a feeling that it will as well. There's a lot of good Star Wars coming up in the next 365 days, I think.
I just want it to be the next year already. Wait, no. Fucking Book of Boba Fett is coming out real soon.
Do you know what's coming out even sooner? Visions.
Dude, I haven't seen the trailers for that yet.
Bro, I hate you. It looks so crazy.
Dude, I just am like, what can I see in the trailer that would convince me to watch it more than
nothing,
I already...
But we could talk about the trailer before the show comes out.
No, because, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to watch it anyway, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be even more amazing because I have no idea what's going to happen. You have some idea.
No idea. I have some idea. You have no idea.
It honestly made the last 2 Star Wars movies better.
Could anything?
What do you mean? Yeah, I just told you. Not watching the trailers made them better. Yeah. Because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And they were better than what they would have been. All right, I'm tired of talking.
I didn't think it was possible.
Well, I was talking with people earlier. So.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What do you mean, why am I calling? Dude, I just spent the last, 7-8 hours at fucking CarMax trying to get Sarah's fucking stupid ass Fiat sold, and it took fucking forever.
But were you able to sell it?
Yeah, it just took like fucking 7 hours.
That's horrible, actually.
It was horrible. My whole fucking day gone.
I mean, it's not like you had anything to do anyway.
Anything else? I could have been doing anything else.
Literally anything else.
Literally anything.
Let's see, what are we doing today? We are looking at some ships, some small ships, all 2 of them.
Yep.
And lists.
List review.
Just one?
Yeah. And then Bad Batch discussion.
Bad Batch discussion.
Bad Batch.
What are we? What podcast is this?
Dude, this is a fucking Star Wars podcast, and it finished, and also I haven't talked to you about Bad Batch and what you thought about the whole show, and so we're gonna fucking do it, alright? Is that fucking okay?
Okay. Well, are we really only doing one? We got like 10 lists.
Do you want to do more than one list? I don't know.
I mean, we did 2 last. Let's do one more. Where did you get this from?
I'll get another one.
Because there was one guy that sent us one on Instagram.
Yep, that's that one that I have.
That's in the trenches?
Okay, so we've got one from Lane Todd. We've got one from the Heisen Lab. And we've got another from Aiden Folds.
Okay, pick one and put it in here. Oh, it's a trench list. Oh, yes.
All right. Do you want an onager or an ISD?
I want an onager.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Let's get ready then. Let's get ready.